Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanidhari. Girivanidhari. Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanidhari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanidhari. Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Astu Todasati Shishimad ISKCON Founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Samakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Ramayapur Ki. Ganga Maya Ki. Yamuna Maya Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Gaur Pramanandi. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. Reading from the Bhagavad-gita, 18th chapter, Perfection of Renunciation, text 57. Cetasa sarva karmani Mai sanyasya matpara Buddhi yogam upashritya Machita satatam bhavam Cetasa sarva karmani Mai sanyasya matpara Buddhi yogam upashritya Machita satatam bhava Cetasa sarva karmani Mai sanyasya matpara Buddhi yogam upashritya Machita satatam bhavam Cetasa sarvakarmani Mai sanyasya matparaha Buddhi yogam upashritya Machitaha satatam bhavam
Cetasa sarvakarmani
Cetasa sarvakarmani
sannyasya matpara
Mai sanyasya matpara
yogam upashitya
Buddhi yogam upashritya
citta sattvam bhava
Machita satatam bhavam. Anyone else? Cetasa, by intelligence, sarvakarmani, all kinds of activities, mai, unto me, sanyasya, giving up, matparaha, under my protection, buddhi yogam, devotional activities, upashritya, taking shelter of, machitaha, in consciousness of me, satatam, 24 hours a day, bhava, just become. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Please repeat. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant has no individual independence. He acts only on the order of the master. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. He simply discharges his duty faithfully in terms of the order of the Lord. Now one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna. But when Krishna is not present, how should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. The Sanskrit word matpara is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. One should, however, note that after doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. That sort of duty is not in the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is a very important point. That order comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So the final chapter of Bhagavad-gita, the perfection of renunciation, Krishna walks Arjuna through many different points in this Bhagavad-gita, a very elaborate chapter. Here he's telling Arjuna finally that you should depend on me, work always under my protection. Mahatmanastamam parta daivam prakritim ashritaha. Again, he uses the word in that verse, ashrita, or take shelter of Krishna. Prabhupada also mentions here that the spiritual master in the cyclic succession is also guiding us. So we see that Prabhupada has supplied us with the Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami, the father of devotional service. We're all Rupanugas. In there, he delineates the 6 forms of surrender to accept everything that's conducive for devotional service and to reject things that are not conducive for devotional service, to always expect the protection of the Lord, and to see the Lord as one's master and protector. Also to Atmani Vedanam, like Bali Maharaj, he surrendered it, body, mind, and soul, and property, everything to the Lord. So give up everything in the service of the Lord, body, mind, and soul. So we have Krishna telling Arjuna here, work under my protection. Krishna tells in so many places in the Bhagavad-gita, aham bija pratapita, sarvayonishu kuntiya murtiya sambhavantiya. He's telling so many places who he really is, that although, Arjuna and Krishna had this very informal, very, irreverent relationship, then Arjuna actually, in the 11th chapter, he apologizes to Krishna that so many times I've slept in a bed next to you, we've been friends, we go hunting in the forest, and so many things. But now Krishna is asocha nanvasocha stram pragyabadam. You're speaking like a learned person, but you're just a fool. Gatasana gatasancha. He says, you're lamenting for Dronacharya and Bhishma and all your cousins who were trying to kill you. And Krishna is telling him, you'll be my instrument, Sabhyasachin, you'll be my instrument, or I will do away with them. It's already in the destiny that I am the Supreme Lord. And then he has to show his Vishvarup form. He shows that all the beings, all the demigods, all the planets, everything, Bhoktarami, Agatapasam, Sarvalokam, everything is contained in Krishna. As Lord Brahma says, Adantaracha Paramanu Chantarastam. The Krishna is also between the atom, in the atom. He's everywhere. And we'll learn a little further on here. The Lord says, Hridaya Esha Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrurudani Maya Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. That I'm in everyone's heart, sitting in the heart, as one sits on a machine made of the material energy. So in the next verse, of course, Krishna says, Matchita Sarva Durgani Mat Prasada Tarishyasi. He says, you think of me. And if you do that, then I remove all the obstacles to life. What are the main obstacles? People may think financial or revenue obstacles, everyone's struggling for money and so on. No, the obstacle is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Nudarshanam. Krishna says in the 13th chapter that, one who really knows what the problems of life is, sees that the evils of birth, death, old age, and disease, that's your problem. That you have to become my devotee to transcend these material modes of nature. And in this chapter, just eventually we'll read, he says, not even the demigod, there's no person in the entire universe that's not influenced by these 3 modes of material nature. He's telling him that even Lord Brahma, even Indra, all these various beings, Lord Shiva, They're all influenced by the modes at some point, even these great personalities. So, Mamchiya Vyabhicharana Bhakti Yogana Sevata Sagunan Samatitaitan Brahma Bhuyayak. He's saying, if you surrender to me, take shelter of me, it's your only way out. It's actually the only way. Here he's speaking about surrender. Of course, we know that that means a lot more than just, mechanical surrender, that we have to develop our prema for the Lord, to develop attachment to the Lord. Like he's saying here, you should think of me. Well, Prabhupada used to say that there's a lady and she has a paramour, and while she's doing her housework, she's thinking of her paramour. So similarly, Tasmat Sarvashu Kalashu Mamanusmar Yujicha Mayarpitamanu. You're working hard, doing your according to your guna and karma, you're doing your activities, but he says, Mam Anusmara Yudyacha. While you're fighting, Arjun, you should all be thinking of me constantly. So how can we think of Krishna constantly? Well, that is the mercy of the Lord and the great acharyas, the spiritual master. If we can continue to please him and act without whim. Here it says, note that after doing something whimsically, one should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. So sometimes we can justify. And Srila Prabhupada said, don't be duplicitous. A devotee is very simple. So we have to be discerning in our service to the Lord. And therefore we take guidance from Prabhupada's purports, which are being translated from books by the six Goswamis and by Sukadeva Goswami and so on. Atyahara Prayashascha Prajalpaniyamagaha. These are guidelines for us. Not that, I'm working hard and I buy myself a Lamborghini or a Mercedes. I don't know, it's Yukta Vairagya. Very clearly in the 7th canto, Narada Muni is talking to Maharaj Yudhisthira and he says, Yavad Briyeta Jataram Tavat Svatvam Hidehinam Adikam Yobimanyeta Sustaina Dandham Arhati. He says that one should do his service, but should accept only that which he needs to maintain body and soul together, and not more than that. Otherwise, you're a stena, you're a thief. So that is the meaning of whim. Yashastra vidim utsrija vartate kamakarta, like you have some material desires. Nasa siddham about you can't get Krishna's mercy. You can't attain perfection if you're, kind of compromising on the scripture or the directions of the spiritual master. I'll do this, I'll do that. And like Prabhupada said, on the royal road, there's always danger. So you have to be very careful. Prabhupada says when you're shaving, sometimes you might cut yourself, a little blood comes. So there are many pitfalls in devotional service, and we want to be always very attentive and avoid the different allurements of Maya in the name of devotional service. Like Kapila Dev, he describes as there's 81 types of devotional service. The 3 modes of material mixed to the power 3 to the power 3 gives us 81 types of mixed devotion. So it's devotional service in the mode of passion. This is described also by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says that while cleaning our hearts, Chaitodarpana Marjanam, sometimes we start cultivating some subtle desires within the assembly of devotees. We want to be a guru or be a big sannyasi or some power, some pratishta, some fame and name. These are all subtle contaminations within the heart. And Bhakti Siddhanta warns that sometimes we're chanting Hare Krishna, which is the watering process. We're watering the Bhakti Lata Bij and the Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service, but we're not as a gardener, pulling out all the weeds around the creeper. And so things like puja, desire for honor, fame, prestige, worship by other devotees, position, adoration, distinction, profit within the assembly or within the society of devotees, these are like weeds. Jiva hinsa, envy of other devotees, kutinati, duplicity, and also fault finding, kutinati. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had his guru, Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri's godbrother was Ramachandra Puri. And although he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he was actually within his heart, he hadn't surrendered to Krishna. He had more or less been a harboring impersonalist contamination within his heart. And so this is one example where you're wearing tilak, you're wearing saffron, you're in a renounced order of life, but by your activities and mentality, you're actually, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you're a Kali Yuga Chela. And you're committing offenses to devotees by fault finding and so on, kutinati. So these are all different pitfalls in the process of devotional service. And Prabhupada used to say, I remember him looking at us and saying, devotional service, you might think it's easy, but it's not easy. It's very, very challenging. And we have to stay the course. So, Machita sarva durgani mat prasada tarishasi atacha twama ahankaram. If you act in false ego, if you're a devotee, but you're exerting your false ego on others, or you're self-centered or something like this, or what I just explained. And nashoshasi, if you don't listen to me, Arjun, vinangshasi, you will be lost. You will be lost. So this is the Krishna telling Arjuna, and further on in this chapter, just a few verses past, he says that you're going to act according to your guna and karma anyway. Guna karma vibhagashaha, like Krishna says that based on your ashram and varna, your guna and karma, you're going to act in certain ways. So Arjuna, whether he surrenders to Krishna or he continues on for his own sense gratification, he's going to act according to his kshatriya qualities. Surya Teja Dutri Jaksham Yudyecha Papalayanam. These are all the qualities of the kshatriya. They're heroic, courageous in battle. They never stand down if they're challenged. They have Bhava Ishwaram, they have leadership qualities. So Arjuna has these qualities, but he has to use them in the service of Krishna. So that is the basic idea that, as Krishna is saying, and ihayasya harir dasya karmana manasa gira nikilashvapu avastasu jivan muktasu yuchite. Rupa Goswami is also saying that all your activities, if you do them in the service of the Lord, you're not accruing any kind of good or bad karma. You're actually developing, you're growing your devotional creeper towards the lotus feet of Krishna. And Krishna here is telling Arjuna, think of me. So the great acharyas have given us so much literature. 6 Goswamis have given us so much literature. Jiva Goswami, he wrote so many literatures, the Sandarbhas, and Rupa Goswami wrote 16 books, 100,000 Sanskrit verses describing what it means to love God. Of course, the most popular one is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So through our daily lives, Srila Prabhupada also said, I'm giving you this Krishna book in case I don't make it complete the 10th canto, because, he was very old and he had had a few heart attacks. So we hear about Krishna's wonderful, extraordinary pastimes of killing so many demons right here in Vrindavan. The Rakshasas were coming every day, sent by Kamsa, and Putana was killed by Krishna. He, sucked her life air out of her breast and killed her. Very big demon. And then Trinavarta, the whirlwind demon. These are all pastimes of the Lord. Every day he would go out in the pasturing grounds here around Vrindavan, the 12 forests of Vrindavan, with the cowherd boys. And Lord Brahma would come and steal the calves and cows. So all these pastimes are for us to reflect on. The 6 Goswamis are always thinking about He Radhe Rajadevi Ke Chalalite He Nandashuno Kutaha. Where is Radha and Krishna? Are they at Vamsivat? Are they over by the Yamuna River? Or are they around Govardhan Hill? These are actual pastimes, transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are devoid of the influence of the modes of material nature. Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma, that's the Brahma Bhuta means, like Madhavendra Puri, he was feeling some separation from the Lord at the end of his life. And he's saying, "Oh my Lord of Mathura, when will I attain your lotus feet?" And Ramachandra Puri was so offensive to his spiritual master. And he said, "Why are you lamenting? Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshi bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param." He said, "Why are you lamenting? You should." Brahma Bhuta means no lamentation. So he didn't understand these deep and profound emotions of the great devotee Madhavendra Puri, who is considered the root, which is supplying all the nourishment to the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Madhavendra Puri preceded Lord Chaitanya. He's known as the root of the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had so many branches and trunks and branches. So we read about in Adi Lila. So to get the mercy of the spiritual master in Krishna, Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tatha Guru Tasaite Katitaryanta Prakashante Mahatmanaha. One has to get both the mercy, both of the spiritual master, the guru, one's acharyas, and Krishna, who is also known as Chaitya Guru, or the person in our hearts, who is directing our wanderings since time immemorial. He's directing our wanderings. Sarvasachaham Ridisani Vishto. Matasmitir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So Madhavendra Puri, unfortunately, externally may have been a part of the assembly of devotees, but he was so critical of devotees that he was never received the mercy. Krishna will never reveal himself. Yogamaya Samavrit, he's covered by his Yogamaya potency. Name Prakasha Sarvasya, I never manifest myself. Duryodhana tried to grab Krishna in the assembly and tie him up, tie up the messenger. Such a fool. And even when Krishna showed his Virat Roop to Duryodhana and the brothers, still, he's just a magician. No, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He says, "Time I am the destroyer of the world. I have come to engage all men, except for you, the Pandavas, all the men on this battlefield. 600 million warriors will be killed here just up the road at Kurukshetra." So, Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Marike. That if you take shelter of Krishna, then he will protect you. If Krishna wants you dead, no one can help you. And of course, he's so merciful that even all the demons that died, like Putana, she became a wet nurse in the Goloka Vrindavan of Mother Yashoda. So Krishna is all merciful, even when he kills the demons. They get at least they get some they can get Swarupya Mukti or Sralokya Mukti or Shaishvarya Mukti, Sarishti Mukti. You can get all these different... But the devotee of the Lord doesn't want any of this. He simply, Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rahoy Tukitwaye, right? I don't care. Make me take another birth here, right? Narayana Parasarve Nakutaschana Bibyati Svarga Pavarga Nardakeshu Apituli Artha Parshada. 6th canto. That the devotee of the Lord doesn't care about moksha, and he doesn't mind if, take me down like Bali Maharaj. Lord Vamana said, okay, you can live in Sutala, right? One of the lower hellish planets. But of course the opulence there was more than Lord Indra's. But still, because Bali gave everything up to the Lord, Atmani Vedanam, he gave everything. He said, okay, put your third step on my head. And Shukracharya said, no, don't trust this person, he's Vishnu. Guru Nasasyat Swajano, reject him. Bali Maharaj rejected him. You're not my real guru, I reject you. You're a material guru, family guru, Sukracharya. Sukra means seminar, right? So Bali Maharaj took the opportunity, took the right line of action and surrendered his entire kingdom. He had defeated all the demigods. He ruled this whole universe. When we read the 5th canto, it's pretty far out universe, The sun planets moving around, all the planets are going around. 18,000 yojanas per moment, the sun is moving. It has different speeds. And all the various Shishumar planetary system, and then the higher planets, Tapaloka Gyana, it's huge. And Krishna says, just a little spark of my splendor. Yad yad vibhuti machatvam shumat urchitam eva tata divavagachatam mamutejam sasa. Just a tiny spark of my entire potency is this tiny little universe that we live in. So Bali Maharaj, he surrendered everything, and he's down in Sutala, but Lord Vamanadev said, I'll be your doorkeeper. So this is another nice message that Krishna is Bhaktavatsali. Krishna can only be conquered by our love, our devotion. And in Kali Yuga, of course, our devotion is given to us in a very simple and easy way. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param bhaja. Simply by chanting this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sharva Shaktis. That the Lord has invested all his potencies. You can imagine how much potency the Lord Krishna has. Unimaginable. Achintya Guna Swarupam. He has unlimited, inconceivable potencies, and he's put that in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for this age of Kali. So we're very fortunate that we are taking shelter of the bona fide Guru Parampara, represented by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. He is bringing this message of the 6 Goswamis, who are all empowered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself empowered Srila Prabhupada. I mean, he was extremely powerful, to do what he did. Is obviously, he said, this is my miracle. So many Swamis go to America. Oh, he can make gold, he can make some ashes. The Prabhupada said, this is my miracle. He took the most degraded personalities on the planet. As Parikar Maharaj told Kali, you can go wherever there's lots of gold, that's where you can live. Then all the 4 principles of Dharma will be completely broken. Dharma the bull's 4 legs are being smashed in America. There's no such thing as piety there. But Prabhupada was taken there by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because people are Janmaishvarya Shrutashribi Evdamana Madapaman Naivarhati Adidaptum Vai Twamakinchana Gotram. People get materially exhausted. you get so materially exhausted, you're surrounded by wealth and sense gratification. There's not a drop of happiness. Like Bhakti Siddhanta said, materialism is just like living in a cave of salt. Wherever you taste, it's just salt. So like this, people get very exhausted, and then they can address the Lord with feelings. As Queen Kunti said, you can address the Lord with feelings when you're materially exhausted. So Prabhupada came there and sat amongst the hippies who were coming from well-to-do families, middle-class families, nice house, nice car in the driveway, lots of nice food to eat. Everything looks nice and clean and everything else. But they're materially exhausted because internally, Nate viduso artha gitimi vishnum durashraye bahir artamanina. They're only being taught how to try and get some happiness outside of themselves. Andarya tarandara upaniyama. They don't know how to go inside of themselves, and they travel down the path of darkness into more and more suffering. So Krishna is asking Arjuna to surrender to him, and later on he says, Natatas manusheshu kaschin me priyakritama. One who is very dear to me will spread this message throughout the world. One who gives this message to potential devotees, he is most dear to me, right? Most dear to me of all people in the world. So Krishna is purchased by this devotion and this desire to help other fallen conditioned souls. That is the business of the Hare Krishna movement. Become Krishna conscious and then distribute it to others. Distribute the holy name to others. Not considering tatenu kampam shishamikshamano bunjane vatma kritam vipakam rigvagva pudir viditan namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadayabak. There will be so many, like Bhakti Siddhanta said, on the path back to Godhead, there's so many sharp stones on the road that will cut your feet. So it's not that because you're a devotee, there won't be any trials and tribulations. That's the verse that Rupa Goswami is saying. We'll go through many trials and tribulations on this path of trying to attain the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna, and Radharani, getting the mercy of Radha and Krishna, by pleasing the Goswamis, by pleasing Lord Nityananda, of course, Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala. His lotus feet are like millions of moons. But Narottam Das Thakur says, if you want to understand Radha and Krishna, you have to have a relationship with Lord Nityananda. It's a beautiful song like this by Narottam Das. So that is our business, to try to work along with devotees in a favorable attitude, avoiding all the pitfalls, and going through these trials and tribulations in life. There's Admyatmika, there's Adibhotika, there's Adidaivika. So many different, like now it's very cold in Vrindavan. So everyone's, I don't want to go outside. Or sometimes the mind gives us trouble. There's 6 enemies of the mind: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So many different things. Then Adibhotika, sometimes the devotee will offend us and we'll feel offended. No. Krishna says that Yasmin nod vijate loko nam vijate chaya harsha marsha bayod vegar. In the 12th chapter, Krishna says, one who doesn't offend anyone or doesn't accept any offenses, both ways. Both sides of the coin, heads and tails. Not that, I don't offend devotees, but if someone offends me, okay. Here, I'm putting on my boxing gloves, No. Haridas Thakur is being beaten, and he was praying in 22 marketplaces. Please, Lord, don't send your Sudarshan chakra. Please, Lord, please deliver these souls. Please give them love of God. And Lord Chaitanya told Haridas that I was trying to send the chakra, but I couldn't because your prayers are so powerful to deliver these constables, these Muslims who were beating him, trying to kill him. So like that, devotee undergoes all kinds of trials and tribulations and sufferings to help the fallen souls. We undergo all kinds of adverse conditions, as Rupa Goswami says, tate nukampam shishamikshimano. I'll go through all kinds of reverse conditions and always expecting the mercy of the Lord. Rupa Goswami says in the Upadeshamrita, should always expect the mercy of the Lord. That the Lord is my master, my friend, and my protector. So I'm always gotta expect, Krishna. Can you like the elephant? What's his name? Ayendra? Gajendra the elephant. And he's fighting for 1,000 celestial years with a crocodile. But then he finally, okay, Lord Vishnu, and started offering lotus flower and beautiful prayers. So like that, this is part of surrendering to say, Krishna, you're my master, my friend, my protector, so please be merciful. We see when we read Mahabharata, like in the old days, probably 100 years ago or so, everyone in Bharatvarsh would come at night, they wouldn't have a TV set or a laptop. And they'd sit in the villages and they would read Mahabharata or Rama Lila, Ramayan. And there's such beautiful stories. Everything's there. There's intrigue, there's murder, there's romance, there's everything. Arjuna won the great princess Draupadi, the most beautiful woman on the planet, he won her with his archery, great heroic, abilities. There was the murder of the sons of Arjuna. There was the murder of Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, and so many things. So it's very interesting. But ultimately, they come out on top, right? Krishna, he protected them completely because they're his devotees. Kutiya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashiti. My devotee will never be vanquished, Krishna says. Never be vanquished. So we have to have that faith and continue with dridhavrataha, with great determination. Utsahan nischayat daryat tat karma pravartanat. One has to be sangatyaga sato vrite sadbir bhaktir pranashiti. One has to engage with enthusiasm. It has to be, mixed with patience and also with determination and confidence. Rupa Goswami is giving us these guidelines. So enthusiasm is great, but then one must be patient. Krishna might be testing you a little more, and you have to be patient. When is Krishna going to be merciful to me? One devotee was told by Lord Chaitanya, oh, you won't get my mercy for millions of lifetimes. And the devotee, oh, great, million lifetimes, wonderful. Like this. That's the idea. So, perfection of renunciation. Of course, in this chapter, people may associate renunciation with saffron. But that's not the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, Maharaj Prataparuja was a very wealthy king with many, many wives. So you might think, oh, what a materialist. And Lord Chaitanya also was externally, he was exhibiting some distance from Maharaj Prataparuja. Niskinchanasya Bhagavad Bhajanun Mukasya Param Param Jigamashur Babasagarasya Sandarshanam Vishayitam Hanta Hanta Vishabhakshnatu Pyasadu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this verse, that if someone's trying on the path of renunciation, and Lord Nityananda was encouraging him to give some darshan to Maharaj Prataparuja, and he said, no, king, he's a king. And Nityananda was saying, No, but he's a pure devotee. He's a pure devotee. He's full of prema. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, the word king is just like a drop of ink on a white sheet. It's, contaminating. And then he quoted that verse. But ultimately, we know that Maharaj Prataparuja was given the full mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He disguised himself as an ordinary person. And in Aitola, the gardens on the way to Gundicha Mandir, Gauranga Mahaprabhu was lying on a bench. He was exhausted from chanting and dancing in ecstasy for Lord Jagannath. And then Maharaj Prataparuja came there disguised in the dress of a normal, ordinary person, was massaging his legs and reciting from the 5 chapters in the Srimad 10th canto, the Rasalila and the Gopis searching for Krishna and the Gopi Gita. There are 5 chapters there. And Lord Chaitanya was, oh, you're the greatest, my greatest well-wisher. You are so magnanimous. And he was behaving like as if he didn't know who was reciting this beautiful verses glorifying Lord Krishna's transcendental dancing with the gopis in Vrindavan. And the gopis then searching for Krishna when he disappeared, which is another story. But very difficult to recognize who is devotee. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected the varnashram, just the mundane varnashram of following your varna and ashram. So anyone can become, the example is that anyone in any ashram or any varna can become a lover of Krishna, can receive the mercy of the Lord. Aho bato swapacho togariyan yasjivirge vartate nama tubhyam tapus te juhu shashnu arya brahmunachir nama grinanti yete. Famous verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even you're born in the family of a dog eater. You're the lowest of low. You eat dogs. Like these dogs here in India. But if you have the holy name of the Lord on your tongue, Jiva, you have the name of the Lord on your tongue, then you've taken bath in all the holy rivers, you've performed all the great austerities of the great mystics and yogis, you've done everything, and you are qualified to be a spiritual master. This is the famous verses given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Tat karma nipano vitro mantra tantra vish. You may be a big Brahmin, but if you have no devotion in your heart for Krishna, then you can be rejected. So that is the idea here that's given here in the Srimad Bhagavad-gita, that anyone can become a great devotee of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada was criticized. Why are you giving sannyas to these malechas from America? They're malechas. They're born in cow-eating families, cow killers, And then Prabhupada was explaining, he was implementing this transcendental philosophy given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you have the qualities of a Brahmin, then Samadama tapasocham shantir arjavamevacha jnana vijnana ashtikam brahmakam. If you have all the qualities of a Brahmin, then you're a real Brahmin. Not if you have a 2 paisa thread around your neck. I'm a Brahmin. One time I went to Mathura a long time ago in the 70s. And this Brahmin came to me, and he let me bless you, and he's giving his blessings. And I said, oh, are you vegetarian? No. So this is the thing. Or I met when I was in the States preaching in a very remote town, and I met this man from India. He said, oh, I'm Brahmin. Come to my house. And so I came to his house, and he had cow flesh in the freezer. And I was like, you're Brahmin? He said, yeah, I know Sanskrit. And he just frying off so much Sanskrit, And I said, but, the cow is, sacred mother of, she's one of the 7 mothers, and Krishna loves the cow. He said, no, these are American cows. He said, Desi cows, they're sacred. Desi cows are fine, but these are not Desi cows. Okay, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I can't eat at your house. Like that. So, so many convoluted ideas. But as Prabhupada says here, don't engage in Krishna's service whimsically, making up some ideas of adharma and going, yeah, this is dharma. No. You have to very explicitly and implicitly follow the guidelines given by the great acharyas. Tat karma pravartanat. Follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? One question? One comment?
Thank you for a nice class.
Thank you.
Make it in a simple way to understand this.
Yeah, but there's so many Bhagavad-gitas. Like, I'm distributing Gitas in the West. And, oh no, I have Gita. Over 250 different... And you can really see that what Prabhupada has done is, by his pure devotion and his empowerment, by that Gita as it is, it's just very clear. And people get the whole Siddhanta when they read. Otherwise, I have Gita. It's just some flowery language, some stuff, And I read a Gita by one yogi that had come to America, and he was very famous. The Beatles were following him for a while. So I read his Gita, and he was following Sankaracharya, so he only translated the first 6 chapters. He didn't want to touch, 7, 8, and 9. Devotional service, the highest knowledge. I couldn't. It was so obtruse. It was impenetrable. Just huge words, highly intellectual, and all this, and I didn't get it. So when I read Prabhupada's Gita, it's very clear. You're not the body. There's a soul and super soul together, and super soul is accompanying you through many different species, and it was very clear. So the Gita is meant to be understood and to be a practical guideline, like a manual, blueprint or manual for living the art of life, living our lives. So thank you very much. Time to take darshan of the Lord. Hare Krishna.